Good morning, students. Again, we are going to learn today Chapter 1 Nutrition in Plants in your Science. In last class, we have discussed about modes of nutrition, that is, autotrophic mode of nutrition. This is done by green plants. In today's class, we will discuss about heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Let's do a quick recap, children. What is autotrophic nutrition? It is done by the green plants by the process of photosynthesis. What the green plants are doing? They are making their own food using some simple inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water, with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll. And what they produce? Food and oxygen. Yes, right. Now you can see in the picture, autotrophs are producing food, but what the heterotrophs are doing? They are taking the food from autotrophs. So heterotrophs are those organisms which do not make their own food. They take the food from another organisms. In last class we learned that all the animals are grouped under heterotrophs. But in this class we will learn that some non-green plants are there considered as heterotrophs. This we will learn in this class, heterotrophic nutrition in plants. So let's start this topic. It is very interesting. You will come to know about various types of plants which are not able to prepare their own food and take the food from other organisms. So what is heterotrophic nutrition? Most plants on earth are green plants, but those plants which do not contain chlorophyll in their leaves nor in any other part, such plants do the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, and those plants are called as heterotrophs. Children, mainly 4 types of heterotrophic plants are there: parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants, symbiotic plants. So one by one we will learn about them. First category is of parasitic plants. Parasitic plants are those which absorb food from another growing green plant, and that another growing green plant is called host. Now what are parasites? Parasites are organisms which depend on another organism for food and shelter. Such organisms are called parasites. These parasites, they are not producing their own food. They are living inside the body of the host and taking the food and shelter from the host. So such organisms are called parasites. And who is giving them food and shelter? The host. The host is giving them food and shelter. Some examples are there, children, on your screen. First is Kiscuta. In Hindi it is called amarbel. It is a parasitic plant. It is not containing chlorophyll. It takes ready-made food from the plant on which it is climbing. Other examples are also there. Dodder. One more is there. It is also same as Kiscuta. Both are actually same. Dodder and Kiscuta are same. 2 names are there of the one plant. And you can see a flower-like plant there on your screen, that is Rafflesia. It is also a parasitic plant. Now, partial parasites. You very well know the meaning of partial parasites. Organisms which depend on host organism only for some nutrients are called partial parasites. These organisms are not taking the whole food from the host organism. What they are doing? They are taking some nutrients only from the host plant. So that is why they are called partial parasites. One example that is on your screen is mistletoe. It is a plant parasite this parasitic plant grows on variety of trees like mango, eucalyptus, and from those trees the parasite is taking minerals and water. They are called partial parasites. Now, why normal nutrition is not possible in partial plants? Because the first reason is that they are not having chlorophyll and they are dependent on the host for food and water. What happens? Some are partial parasites. They are taking small amount of food from the host and rest small amount they are preparing by their own. So, this is the reason why these parasite plants are not able to produce food, because they are not having chlorophyll. Now, second category is of saprophytic nutrition in plants, and the organisms doing saprophytic nutrition are called saprophytes. What is the meaning of the word sapro? It means rotten. Rotten, you all know. Rotten means which is not able to use. Rotten food you cannot eat. It is just need to be thrown. So, sapro means rotten and trophic means food. So, now very easy to understand that saprophytic nutrition is the process by which the organisms feed on dead and decaying matter. These saprophytes, they only feed on dead and decaying matter, and this type of nutrition is called saprophytic mode of nutrition. It is done by some types of plants. What those plants do? They just produce some juices, and those juices are going on the dead body of the other organism on which it is feeding, and those juices help the organism to digest the food that is being eaten by them. So, you just remember that saprophytes are those which feed on dead and decaying matter, and saprophytic nutrition is the name of the process. Saprophytic plants are the plants that is feeding on this dead matter. They grow in places with lots of rotten dead leaves, and they are mostly found in deep tropical forest. Some examples are there of saprophytic plants: Indian pipe and agaricus. These are some of the saprophytic plants that are growing on dead and decaying matter. Now, third category is of insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants are those plants that derive some or most of their nutrients by trapping and consuming animals. Mainly which animals? Insects. The name itself is suggesting you insectivorous. In one line you can define them as insect eating plants. Those plants which are mainly eating the insects. So, they can also be called as carnivorous plants. They are eating the insects, so they are also called as carnivorous plants. Now, very famous two types of plants are there that are insectivorous. One is pitcher plant and second one is Venus flytrap. These two are very common insectivorous plant. See, Venus flytrap. Very well it is shown in the picture how the plant is trapping the insects. First, the mouth is open, and whenever any insect is going inside the mouth, it immediately closes and traps the insect. Now, what happened? Inside, the insect slowly is digested by the plant. Pitcher plant also same. It is having a flap like structure on its head. Whenever an insect comes and goes inside that pitcher, immediately the flap closes and the insect goes inside the plant. So they are actually eating the insects, and that is why they are called as insectivorous plant. Now what is the cause of eating insects? The cause of eating insects is that from the insect's body the plant gets nitrogen. This I told you before also. Nitrogen is very important from the growth of the plant. Now what happened? Some plants are growing in the soil which is not having nitrogen. They are growing in nitrogen deficient soil. So now from where they will get this nitrogen? This nitrogen need is fulfilled by sucking the juice of insects. From the insect's body the plant is getting the nitrogen. So this is the main reason for the eating of insects by the plants, to get nitrogen. Next category comes of symbiotic plants. Symbiotic plants, they are certain plants which live in association with other species and share their food resources. Now in this type of plants, they are not only taking, they are also giving something to the host. It is actually a interaction between two organisms, and in this both the organisms are benefited. It is not like that I will only take and take and take and give nothing. In this symbiotic plants, they are benefiting each other. So such plants are called symbiotic plants, and the relationship is called symbiosis. Very important, students. You should know the meaning of this symbiosis very nicely. What is symbiosis? It is a relationship in which both the organisms are benefited. Both are getting something in return, and this process is called symbiosis. Examples of symbiotic plants: lichen and rhizobium. These two are symbiotic plants. First we will discuss about lichens. Lichens are composite organisms. They have one fungal partner and one algal partner. You can see in the picture of lichen that green color on the side is a algae, and the bluish that is there like a flower like structure, that is a fungus. So both the algae and fungus are helping each other. How they are helping each other? The algae is producing food. You can see the algae is green. It is producing food and giving it to the fungus. Now what the fungus is doing? The fungus is providing shelter to the algae. So both are giving each other some benefits. So this is called symbiosis. Algae is giving food to the fungus and fungus is giving shelter to algae. So this type of relationship is called symbiotic relationship. In another you can see rhizobium. This we have discussed previously also. Rhizobium is a bacteria and it is living in the roots of leguminous plants. So what is happening? Rhizobium bacteria is giving nitrogen to the plant, and what the plant is giving to rhizobium? The plant is giving food and shelter to rhizobium. So both are benefiting each other. So again this is an example of symbiosis. See in the picture, very nicely it is shown. In lichens, one fungal partner is there, one algal partner is there. Algae and fungus. Algae is giving food to fungus And what fungus is giving? Water, minerals and shelter to the algae. So both are helping each other, and this is called symbiosis. Now last category comes of decomposers. Decomposers play a very important role in our environment, children. We don't know, but lot of work they are doing and helping us. Now we know that plants absorb nutrients from the soil. Now what will happen? The nutrients will keep on declining. One day will come when the soil will have no nutrients. So what will happen then? But this is not so. Continuously some organisms are there which add nutrients back to soil. Such organisms are called decomposers. Definition: organisms that break down dead or decaying organisms and decomposition process they are carrying out. So these organisms are called decomposers. Example are given: fungi, bacteria and some worms are there. So what the decomposers are doing? They are decomposing or breaking the dead or decaying organisms. Dead or decaying organisms can be both plant and animals. A plant can also die and go inside the soil. An animal can also die and go inside the soil. Now these decomposers break down these dead organisms and release nutrients. These nutrients are going in the soil. Now the soil is having lot of nutrients in it. So if decomposers were not there, then our soil will become nutrient deficient. So decomposers play a very important role in replenishing the soil with nutrients. Now children, you all have learnt about various types of heterotrophs or heterotrophic plants specifically. Again I am repeating one more time. 4 types of heterotrophic plants are there: parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants, symbiotic plants. You learn the definition of each of them and also their examples. That is important. You have to by heart the examples and definition. Now 2 questions I have given here. Let's answer them. See the first question, very easy. They feed on dead organisms. So can you name who are they? Yes, very good. They are called decomposers, which are feeding on dead organisms. Second question, which of these animals are decomposers? The name of 3 animals are given. Which of these is a decomposer? Yes, very good. It is a bacteria. Bacteria is an example of a decomposer. So with this topic, children, we have finished our chapter 1, nutrition in plants. In next class, we will write the question answers. So all of you learn the chapter very nicely and by heart the things that I have told you to do. Thank you, children.